You hear a lot about this person, and then when you actually get to know them or play with them, they turn out to be a little less than what you expect. He actually turned out to be much more, and turned out to be like the absolute real deal.
Never in the history of competitive Dota has there been a captain as revered.
I always wanted to play with Puppey because he's like one of the best captains.
Innovative.
Puppey talked about the Naga counter. It's Light of Heaven. What's his BKB? They turn it around.
And permanent as Puppey.
I've been playing Dota my whole life, and playing on this stage comparison to the other stages, I still love it. It's still amazing. I'm gonna keep coming.
Despite the controversy he's invoked.
Hooking Tong Fu players with Chen teleport was one of the most amazing things that I've done.
And the criticism he's invited, Puppey commands a respect that few others can muster, and remains quite possibly the game's single most influential and enduring thinker. This is his story. Clement Puppey Ivanov was born in 1990 in Tartu, Estonia. Even in his youth, he knew that he wanted nothing more than to spend his life immersed in cerebral activities.
All I do is spend my time on playing that computer, and I don't take anything seriously anymore from the social world like school or something like that.
Placing more value on his musical and gaming education than his scholastic one, Puppey started competing in video game tournaments at 13 and attended the Heino Eller Tartu Music College.
I myself believe that knowing music was more important than school.
In addition to becoming a talented guitarist, he learned to play the saxophone, flute, clarinet, and drums. He also developed a talent for language acquisition, becoming fluent in Russian and English in addition to Estonian. But with intelligence and individualism comes dissidence.
I myself believe that earning more money somehow through a game like poker was way more important than school.
From an early age, Puppey knew that he wasn't cut out for a normal 9-to-5 job. Whether he was shredding solos in his death metal band or competing in Defense of the Ancients competitions, Puppey wanted to challenge and be challenged.
I did not really care about the social norms. I was confident that school was not my path, and I used that confidence to, go my own way.
He played a handful of tournaments between 2007 and 2008, but it wasn't until he stood in for Maus at DreamHack Winter 2008 that Puppey met the player who would become both his teammate and good friend, Kuro Kuroki Salehi Takasomi.
When we went to DreamHack 2008, I think, I met Puppey before that, some weeks, and then he stood in DreamHack because Drage couldn't come. And that's where I met Puppey, and we played DreamHack, we got third place, and then we decided to make a team together.
Puppey played with Kuroki on King Surf International, where they edged out Meet Your Makers in the Dota League Masters Final. The two went on to play for Nirvana International, which eventually became GG.net, before Puppey was invited to join one of the CIS's most dominant teams, Na'Vi. With the launch of Valve's highly anticipated Dota 2 on the horizon, Puppey accepted, prompting Kuroki to publish a now famous blog post lamenting his dear friend's departure. Little did Puppey know, his decision to join Na'Vi marked the beginning of yet another significant partnership, this time with the most famous player in the game's history, Daniil Dendi Ishuten.
His moves, I think, are unique, and they might win you the game. But he wants to rely completely on skill. He wants an enemy against him, and he wants to kill him through skill, nothing more. He wants to win the game.
With the arrival of Dota 2 came the advent of the International, a Valve-hosted tournament whose first iteration boasted an unprecedented $1.6 million prize pool. Na'Vi went into TI as Western favorites and went undefeated all the way to the finals.
Na'Vi are dominating this final. Now Na'Vi, they're going to take the chance here. They're going to go in for the GG, and GG is the call from H-White first. Na'Vi are already off their computers. They're not even sticking around. They've got the GG. Na'Vi are into the grand finals and will play for the $1 million.
And yet, unlike the tournament's other grand finalist, Chinese powerhouse eHome, it wasn't their strategy or discipline that made Na'Vi such a force to be reckoned with. It wasn't even their skill necessarily. It was their wildness, their unpredictability, their confident yet nonchalant attitude, and, above all, their ability to just, well, win.
The GG is the call from eHarm. Na'Vi have just won $1 million. eHarm do take home $250,000 in second place, but Na'Vi are the champions.
And so began the golden age of Na'Vi.
This team has been more about playing Dota instead of making a legacy or something like that. And I think it's pure in this sense.
After winning the biggest tournament in the history of esports, Puppey was entrusted to take over the drafter's chair from Artstyle, as Dendy started to solidify himself as the most dominant and popular mid laner in the world.
There was never a time where we weren't really dominating.
Puppey led his team to 7 first-place finishes between TI 1 and 2. Na'Vi entered the second international as not only defending champions, but the most accomplished and beloved Dota team in the world.
The international too is like whatever you achieved then, you have to repeat it. I think it adds much more pressure. It's like you've done it before, now do it again.
And despite their middling performance in the group stage, Na'Vi traversed the winners bracket all the way to the grand finals. There they met Chinese dark horse Invictus Gaming.
This year the enemy is much stronger. People are ready to face us. They're not scared of us because more teams have actually gone above us in skill. But whatever you have in skill does not really matter if the team itself is like spiritually like ready. So it all depends on like the team.
It was in these finals that Na'Vi executed the single greatest teamfight maneuver in the history of Dota, referred to solely as the play.
They storm up the river. Patience from Zoe, waiting in the wings. Na'Vi's about to be caught. Oh, there's the sleep, the surge. He catches everyone. Oh, this could be a total disaster. Vacuum in. Ravage on everyone. The black hole as well. Light of heaven turns it around. Ravage as well. Stolen by Dendy. Are you kidding me? They turn it around. 4 heroes dead.
5 heroes dead. Chuan trying to survive. Chuan's gonna go down. Puppey talked about the Naga counter. It's light of heaven. What's his BKB? They turn it around.
Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. IG were the stronger team, and Na'Vi went on to lose the final 3-1. Despite his best efforts, Puppey had fallen short of a second TI title. Throughout the 2012-2013 season, Puppey led his team to a whopping 10 first-place finishes. Part of Na'Vi's sustained dominance came from Puppey's decision to enlist the help of an old friend, Kuroki.
We both want to do something that is just like magical, but the most core point is that we both really love the game enough to just make art out of it.
Na'Vi were still considered to be one of the most dominant teams in the world, but they were no longer considered the sole European threat. A new Western talent had arisen, the Alliance.
The reason why everyone fears us is because we can never really know what we're gonna do, and we will sometimes switch our playstyle.
Led by captain and drafter Gustav S4 Magnusson, the all-Swedish lineup had taken the Dota scene by storm.
I like how S4 plays. He's a real team player and I wish him the best because he has really done some amazing things in my eyes. He has started to play a different way and everybody else started to go his way also.
Boasting 7 first-place finishes of their own, they were considered the best team in the world.
Winning this year's international would just be so awesome. It would just be a proof that we were the best team this year, and I would just be so happy for the other guys in the team as well. I really love them.
Na'Vi finished first in their group with an 11-3 record, but Alliance had toppled the other group with a staggering 14-0 finish. Na'Vi would go on to challenge the Swedes in the upper bracket final, but not before facing off against Tongfu in a series that would go on to become the most controversial in the history of competitive Dota 2. After trading evenly in games 1 and 2, Puppey kicked off game 3 by drafting he and Dendy's signature heroes, Chen and Pudge.
No, they pick it. They took the Pudge. You can see Dendy smiling right now.
After falling significantly behind, the two players had no choice but to get creative.
The game was on the edge and we could lose it like any moment. I was sure about that. We knew we needed to do something, so we started to try something out.
Dandy said, this is the only way we can win the game. Us two, just doing that stupid stuff. I was like, all right, let's go.
And Tongfu is going to continue to push. They're not done. Mech still hasn't even been used. There's a hook. How? Brought all the way back to the base. Cleaned up by the Fountain.
By combining Pudge's hook ability with Chen's teleport, Na'Vi were able to hook enemy heroes into Na'Vi's own fountain, even going so far as to delete an Aegis-wielding gyrocopter.
Fountain hook, fountain hook, fountain hook. It would continue. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not? Just keep it up.
Fountain hooking didn't just inspire hope within Na'Vi, it enabled them to close the gap on what should have been an insurmountable lead.
Oh, there we go, the hook, got him!
Na'Vi had beaten Tongfu, but at what cost? Some viewed Na'Vi's decision to make continuous use of the exploit as a stroke of genius.
You have to respect the skill that it took for those fountain hooks to happen. If it was completely broken and super easy to do, everyone would be doing it. They weren't afraid to try it or make it happen.
Others were vocal about it being bug abuse.
I was very angry watching the game. It's not really so much against Na'Vi as against the rules.
Remove that from the game. That was the biggest joke I've ever seen.
It's not fair, it's not fair. Disqualification.
Yeah, he was definitely like, you guys don't deserve it or something like that. And like, whatever, dude.
Whichever side one falls on, there is no question that Fountain Hooking's simultaneously incredible and incredulous debut on the world stage will always be remembered as one of Puppey's most significant contributions to competitive Dota.
Hooking Tongfu players with Chen teleport was one of the most amazing things that I've done. It was vicious, and I was part of it.
Na'Vi went on to get swept by Alliance in the upper bracket final, and after earning a fortuitous win against Orange eSports in the last round of the lower bracket, secured a spot in the grand finals of an international for the third year in a row.
This is an amazing moment because I've been here for the third time already, and yeah, it's pretty good.
The rematch between Na'Vi and Alliance that ensued was legendary. Framed as a battle of wits between Puppey and S4, the series saw both teams earn 2 wins apiece before bringing it to one of the greatest Game 5s ever played.
Everything hangs in the balance. It all comes down to this. One more game.
Na'Vi got off to a tremendous start, and as Dendy's strategically selected Templar assassin continued to snowball, the prospect of Alliance's victory grew slimmer.
And Na'Vi are pulling away with this game. Bulldog caught. Bulldog will fall. Triple kill for Dendy.
Dendy looking for more. He got Maelstrike Funnick. Oh, what a tether away by EGM, but the trap will hit. No, he will not. EGM will survive.
If Na'Vi win this game, they will be the first team in the history of Dota 2 to win 2 internationals.
As Na'Vi finished off Alliance's mid-barracks, and with S4's teammates closing in for the split push, the Swedish mid laner did the only thing he could think of to halt Na'Vi's retreat.
S4's gonna try to cancel as many as possible. He'll cancel 3! My god! Funnick's gonna try to TP, but he's gonna defend against everybody. Meanwhile, Loda working on the melee racks on the bot. Reality Rift. Oh, Funnick! You are getting stopped hard. He's gonna get back out, but the racks in huge trouble. They will defend.
Alliance outmaneuvering Na'Vi!
The first time S4 did it, it earned his team a 2 racks advantage. The second time, which has since been dubbed the $1 Million Dream Coil, it won them the international.
He's got BKB, but no boots of travel.
Oh,
Coil on 2.
Just Dendy's TP as well. They are in huge trouble.
Funnick's caught. Now, if they go for the throne, it could be game. Funnick's down. Alliance are doing it. They need a little more of those to fall. Throne in jeopardy. There's a glyph. It's going to be their last stand.
Dendy's back. He's gonna try to focus everybody, but there's so much stuff hitting on the throne. There's no more glyph available. Down to about half HP, a quarter HP. Alliance surrounding from all sides.
BKB, they won this round. They're gonna do it.
They're
the
gonna
Kings
do
of the
it.
North.
Alliance wins. They win TI3.
Not only had Na'Vi failed to win another international, They had gotten within an inch of victory and given it away in one of the greatest series of Dota 2 ever played.
I love all of my fans. I give them autographs all the time, and I can stay as long as in the booth as I can, as humanly possible. And let's say I love Dota too.
Na'Vi started the following season with a bang, securing 5 first-place finishes, but by April 2014, their results had started to taper off. Going into TI4, they hadn't won a tournament in 3 months, and had only finished top 4 in 2 of their last 7 events. And yet, in spite of Na'Vi's decline, it was expected that Puppey would come through in the end. It even got to the point where the community had developed a meme around Na'Vi's resilience, responding to every one of their losses with the claim that Puppey was simply saving strats for TI. As far as the community was concerned, Na'Vi were incapable of not making the grand finals. But that year, for the first time ever, they didn't.
I was kind of prepared to lose. I didn't feel that we can win. Like, even if we would win Cloud9, I think we wouldn't go that far this tournament. Okay.
Following Na'Vi's awful run at TI4, rumors began to circulate that Puppey had wanted to kick Dendi for some time, but that the organization had sided with the marketable mid laner over Puppey himself.
There were times where I sought to kick everybody in Team Na'Vi. Like it wasn't even about like Dendi or whatever. Like you were all in that pot because nobody was doing anything good.
Puppey left Na'Vi as a result, taking Kuroki with him, bringing the golden age of Na'Vi to an end. Within 3 months, he and Kuroki had started their own roster, one whose aim was to stand as Dota's most powerful player-owned organization.
Basically, S4 said, yo, I will play if Puppey plays, and we just ended up kind of like, oh, if 4 of us are in, then the last guy comes in too, and whatever, let's go. You know, and basically make us a semi-union. So we just figured, forget it, let's just do it ourselves completely. And we went from there.
Puppey's so-called mystery squad hadn't yet settled on a name, so they came up with what was supposed to be a placeholder, Team Secret. Needless to say, it stuck. In January 2015, an opportunity presented itself to Secret. Frustrated with Peter PPD Dagger, evil geniuses Artur Artizi Babayev and Ludwig Zai Wahlberg were looking for an opportunity to jump ship in preparation for the mini TI that was the Dota 2 Asia Championships.
Just like, it feels natural to be in this team. I think my teammates are individually, they're the best right now in the world.
Secret managed to go 15-0 in DAC's group stage and made it all the way to the lower bracket finals. There, they played EG, the very team from which they'd poached Zai and Artizi. Surprisingly, Secret lost, and the so-called super team had to settle for a 3rd place finish.
Puppey going down to the split shot of Fear, the double kill. This is a disaster. Secret looks to be out of DAC 2015.
On paper, Secret were a super team, but still needed time to mesh. And in the months following DAC, much to the chagrin of their opponents, Secret's anticipated dominance became a reality.
And Secret are your Red Bull Battlegrounds Dota 2 champions, the first ever.
Congratulations, Team Secret. They are going to be your Summit 3 champions.
Secret will take the victory. Denying EG another ESL 1 title. Then taking another big victory for Team Secret on LAN.
After years of falling short at the International, the time had finally come for Puppey to once again reach the top, and he knew it.
Команда играет сейчас, как почти мы играли все эти турниры. Это хороший вариант, как играть, и поэтому нам трудно теперь придумать, что выиграть это. Конечно, мы знаем, может быть, даже самое лучшее, что делать против этого.
Secret performed well in groups, finishing 11-3. And then, as soon as Secret walked out onto the main stage, disaster struck.
They're looking for the jump in. They've got the blink call. It's on to ZYF to go. The death ward to follow, but instantly canceled by RTK. Medical assistance has arrived, and they're going to turn it. E-Home now hunting for S4. The TPL will be canceled. No Void. They got him. He's down as well. Bree crumble. There's the Ghost Scepter desperately hanging on, but going the winner bracket.
Secret had been knocked into the lower bracket from the get-go, and while they managed to beat Invictus Gaming 2-1, they would eventually fall to Virtus Pro.
Artur down for 2 minutes. VP, they're moving forward. GG, well played. Secret call it. VP have eliminated the fan favorites of this tournament, and they will move on to face up against LGD in the losers bracket.
The light will go out on Team Secret. They have been eliminated and will finish 7th, 8th at the International 2015.
And like that, the impossible had happened. The fallout was horrific. Zai left the team to go back to school, S4 returned to Alliance, and Arteezy, who had blamed Kuro for every aspect of the team's demise, went back to EG. As for Kuro, stunningly enough, Puppey kicked him. From the outside, it seemed as if Puppey had done everything right, as if his squabbling super team had failed in spite of his best efforts. In reality, Puppey probably had played a part in his team's seismic self-implosion, but it would be some time before that came to light. The end of TI5 marked a significant point in Puppey's career. For years, he had been revered as a walking, talking Dota divinity, a drafter who could never be outwitted and would never become outdated. And yet, for the first time in his professional career, he had fallen far below expectations. That said, Secret continued to put up excellent results. With Pylai Dai, Misery, Eternal Envy, and pubstar mid laner Weehaw at his side, Puppey went on to secure a second-place finish at the Frankfurt Major before winning the next major in Shanghai.
There's no getting out of this. You're going to go try and get the Doom. That doesn't quite go off. They get it off the Chronosphere, but it's still Eternal Envy. Goes straight from Matumba, man. The TP's out for Fada. He knows this fight cannot be won, but the Primal Roar stops him. This could be Liquid all dying as Mind Control's the only one to be able to get away to the side and TP out. It looks like Jarek's going to go down as well as Puppey runs him down 1-13. Team Secret, the best performance they've had so far, and what a time to have it too. And there it is! Congratulations! Team Secret take Game 4 in one of the most dominant fashions we've seen in the Grand Finals.
I know you're probably excited, but exactly how do you feel this moment?
I feel supreme!
Wow!
Even without a super team, Puppey was achieving great results and preserving his reputation as a world-class captain. But when Puppey got another opportunity to elevate Secret's roster, he took it. Out went Weehaw and Misery, and back came Arteezy, and this time, he brought Universe with him. To everyone's surprise, Secret's super team maneuver proved even more disastrous the second time around. The team took an unimaginable 13th, 16th finish at the ensuing Manila Major, causing Universe to return to EG after only 3 months with Secret.
It was a pretty humbling experience. I think when I went to Secret, my intention was to make like this really good team. I've always just wanted to be part of the best team, and that's what I tried to do when I went to Secret. So it kind of made me realize that you can't just put like 5 really great players together and hope it works out. Like, being on a team is more than just that, so.
At TI6, Puppey put up the single worst TI performance of his career. After going 5-9 in groups, Secret landed themselves in a lower bracket best-of-1 against LGD.
Secret are crumbling after holding up the GG! It's all too much for them. Secret are going home. Round 1 in the lower bracket.
But it turned out that that loss, crushing as it was, would prove to be the least of Puppey's problems.
Самое лучшее это если у кого-то из команды есть вот этот бизнес-спот, что они сами как бы думают для всех и все верят как бы его. Не все должны думать об этом, потому что не все как бы могут даже об этом думать правильно.
In the wake of Jackie Eternal Envy Mao's departure from Secret in October 2016, the player published one of his most infamous blog posts. In it, he accused Puppey and the director of Team Secret, Kemal Satakoglu, of mismanaging both player winnings and sponsorship earnings. This prompted Misery to publish his own blog in support of Envy's claims. This wasn't the first time that Secret had been accused of failing to pay its players. In February, the team's former manager, Ebony Chang, had posted a twitlonger of her own, alleging that she and the team's 2014-2015 roster had gone 2 years without being paid. What's more, Envy accused Puppey of being an incredibly erratic leader, one who refused to practice, drank heavily at tournaments, verbally abused his teammates, and underwent violent outbursts in which he damaged equipment. The nail in Puppey's coffin came in the form of a leak, a lengthy chat log between he and Secret's coach, 1437, had been released to the public. In it, Puppey disparaged his old friend and teammate, Kuroki. Puppey released a statement in response to the mounting allegations, but his decision to shy away from them ended up doing more harm than good. The community was left to reconcile the stern but stylish strategist they had long revered with the egotistical, unethical, and irresponsible team owner that Envy and others had alleged him to be. Puppey had lost the trust of the Dota community, and his sterling reputation along with it. And yet, in spite of the ill will he'd garnered, Puppey was determined to keep both himself and Secret alive. Shortly after TI6, Puppey recruited Malaysian mid laner Mid1, who has since solidified himself as a core member of Secret's ever-changing roster.
I always wanted to play with Puppey because he's like one of the best captains, right? And I play a bit different Dota, like it's more on Western side, and maybe it's more suitable with them. That's why I chose Secret.
And then, after months of relative silence, Puppey posted a twitlonger in March 2017, detailing the ostensibly earnest steps he and Secret had taken to make reparations for their past mistakes. About a month later, Secret recruited the third member of its soon-to-be core lineup, superstar support Yapzor. By this time, the drama around Secret's scandal had started to subside. Come TI7, Secret had put together a salt-of-the-earth roster, and were making strides to once again reach the top tier. Puppey was steadily making his way out of the community's doghouse, and it showed.
Does he always do that?
Yeah, that's kind of his thing.
Before long, Puppey had found himself facing off against a Kuroki-led Liquid, who were about to make a fated climb through the entirety of the lower bracket and win the International altogether.
And I do appreciate the run they did, because I was part of that loss also for them in order to win.
It was after narrowly losing to Liquid during Secret's post-game exit interview that Puppey once again earned the sympathy and respect of his fans.
We've been on the road for a while, and when being on the road for a month with everybody, there's going to be stressful moments, arguments or whatnot. We felt really good. We almost did it, I think, and we really needed a little bit to win this match, and we don't know what would have happened further, but thank you for supporting.
Over the next year, Secret gradually climbed to the top of the competitive circuit. They ranked 4th in the 2017-2018 DPC and entered the International 8 as near favorites.
Secret's style of play is hard to predict, easy to underestimate, but devastating to play against. The fact that any one of their players could be the star of the match is what sets them apart from all the other teams.
After losing to a dominant EG in the first round of the upper bracket, they managed to beat Vici Gaming and North American dark horse VGJ Storm before losing to Liquid in a highly anticipated rematch.
There, and now Matumbo Man jumps forward and tries to take down one. Can they kill him off in time? Mid1 being cold snapped. He doesn't have any way to get out of there, but the send back. Puppey keeps him alive for the moment, but still it's the tier 3 tower taken down.
That could be just game over if he dies there. Mid1 being saved once more by Puppey, but Puppey cannot save himself.
And now Mid1 left alone. There's going to be the Cataclysm again. And with a flurry on it, Miracle takes him down. 3 dead, no buybacks, give him a 4th, and this is going to be GG. Liquid moving on. And again, what more can you say about this team? I mean, it looked like Secret really never had an opportunity to make any type of moves in the last couple of minutes of this game.
Puppey had once again fallen short of his dear friend Kuroki, but this time, it seemed as if the hatchet was a little bit closer to being buried.
You gotta love the respect to fellow captains, former teammates.
For the 7th year in a row, Puppey had fallen short of winning an international. But he had also, for the 8th year in a row, made it to the international. Not only that, he'd managed to earn his team a top 6 finish at TI8, the most cutthroat tournament in the history of Dota 2.
It's been up and down. To be honest, we started a lot of snowballing going on right now, and I think Liquid, in TI it's like this, right? I think we had them by the balls in the first game with the draft, you know? It's like the second game, fine, let's lose that one. But we should have won the first one, and it should have been game 3, and it should have been like because they outsmarted us in the second game and chose something else, right?
Alongside Kuroki and Chinese veteran DDC, Puppey is the only player to attend every single international.
Every TI has been amazing, so has this one, but the difficulty is becoming very, 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 very hard.
He is, in some intuitive, undeniable sense, the player with the most permanence in the history of Dota. With that comes confidence, but also an unparalleled sense of perspective.
People always say that I'm a good player, and that's the biggest value that I have. You know, I don't lose interest in playing. I don't become a coach. I'm not even looking towards those directions. I'm only looking to the directions to actually become a better player.
Whatever you think of Puppey, he isn't just deserving of respect, he commands it.
Don't be scared.
Right.
Like, what else are you gonna do now? You're gonna lose or you're gonna win? What do you want to do? You find that confidence in you. Where are you gonna be in 15 years? Are you gonna like look back? It's like, oh, I should have done something. You don't want to have those feelings.
He's an old dog who's constantly striving to teach himself new tricks. A feral but cerebral competitor who understands that being a legend takes work.
We need more of fire. So we started yelling, we started doing some stuff, we still started not caring, and that creates like some kind of true, like fake confidence, let it be, but it works.
It's not clear how many more TIs Puppey will be around for. What can be said with absolute certainty, however, is that however many there are, whether 1 or 74, he'll be ready.
You're going to be using a walker to get out there on the stage to play like TI 74.
Yeah, 74 is what I'm going for.
Thanks for watching. If you want more great content just like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button.